Good morning, my name is Dario Vinueza, and in this video I will present the key findings and implications of my research project. The topic of my study is factors influencing the limited adoption of updated teaching methods among secondary school English teachers in Quito, Ecuador. This problem is important because English is taught as a foreign language in many private and public schools. However, in some classrooms, traditional methods are still commonly used. For example, teachers may use long explanations, grammar translation, memorization, and repetitive exercise. These methods can be useful sometimes, especially for grammar practice. However, if they are used too much, students may have fewer opportunities to speak, interact, work in groups, and use English in real-life situations. The main objective of this study was to identify which factors influence the limited use of updated teaching methods in EFL classrooms. In this project, I focus on factors such as teacher training, access to technology, institutional support, lack of time, teacher confidence, and attitude towards innovation. The research question was what factors influence the limited adoption of updated teaching methods in secondary school English teachers in Quito, Ecuador. To answer this question, I used a quantitative approach. I applied a survey questionnaire with Likert scale and analyzed the results using percentage and mean scores. Now I will present the most important findings of the study. The first important finding was that teachers reported a high level of confidence when using active learning activities. This item had the highest mean score, with M equal 4.75. This means that the teachers who answered the survey do not seem to reject active teaching methods. In fact, they feel confident when they use active learning in their English classes. This finding is positive because it shows that teachers may be open to innovation. For example, they may be willing to use group work, paid work, speaking activities, or communicative tasks. However, confidence alone is not enough. A teacher can feel confident but still face other problems that make innovation difficult. The second important finding was related to technology and time. Access to technological resources had a high mean score, with M equal 4.50. This suggests that some teachers have access to resources that can help them teach English in a more active way. For example, they may have projectors, videos, digital platforms, or online materials. However, lack of time also had a high mean score, with M equal 4.50. This is very important because it shows a tension in the results. Teachers may have confidence and may have access to technology, but they still need time to prepare updated activities, preparing communicative lessons, digital materials, group work, or speaking tasks usually requires more planning than using only textbook. The third relevant finding was that institutional support received the lowest mean score, with M equal 3.33. Teacher training also received a moderate score, with M equal 3.50. These results suggest that the main problem may not be teacher attitude. Instead, the problem may be related to the conditions that schools provide. Teachers may need more practical training, more planning time, and stronger support from their institutions. In summary, the findings show that teachers may be ready to innovate, but they need better support to do it constantly. These findings can be explained through Rogers' diffusion of innovations theory. This theory explains how new ideas, practices, or methods are adopted in a social system. According to this theory, innovation does not depend only on the individual. It also depends on how useful, practical, and supported the innovation appears in the context. In this study, updated teaching methods are the innovation. These methods include communicative activities, active learning, collaborative tasks, and the use of technology. The results suggest that teachers may see these methods as useful, especially because they reported confidence and positive views about communicative activities. However, adoption can be slower when teachers do not have enough training, time, or institutional support. This connects with Bittergold's study, which explains that teacher confidence and self-innovativeness can influence teaching practices. In my study, teacher confidence was high, so this is a positive condition for innovation. The results also connect with Bentista and Brown, who explain that professional development it is more useful when it is connected to real classroom practice. In my results, teacher training was not one of the strongest areas. This means that teachers may need training that is more practical and not only theoretical. For example, they need workshops that show how to use speaking activities, paid work, roleplay, and technology in real English classes. Selami and colleagues also explain that teachers face different barriers. My results support the idea because the barriers were not only personal. Lack of time and weak institutional support were also important. Finally, Sofwan and colleagues showed that collaboration among teachers can support innovative teaching with technology. This is important for EFL context because English teachers can share activities, digital resources, and classroom activities. Innovation becomes easier when teachers are not working alone. Therefore, the main meaning of these findings is that innovation in EFL teaching should not be seen only as teachers' responsibility. Schools also need to create the conditions for teachers to innovate. Based on the findings, I propose 3 recommendations for EFL teaching practice. First, schools should provide practical professional developments for English teachers. Training should not only explain theory, it should include real classroom examples, such as how to organize paid work, group work, role-play, communicative games, and project-based tasks. Teachers need strategies that they can apply directly in their classes. Second, institutions should give teachers more support and planning time. If schools want teachers to use updated methods, they need to create spaces for planning, collaboration, and reflection. For example, English teachers could meet once a week or once a month for shared activities, materials, and experiences. Third, technology should be used with a clear communicative purpose. A video projector or digital platform is not automatically innovative. Technology should help students speak, interact, solve problems, and use English in meaningful situations. This is especially important in diverse classrooms, where students may have different levels, needs, and confidence. This research shows that the limited adoption of updated teaching methods in secondary EFL classrooms is connected to several factors. Teachers may feel confident and may have access to technology, but they still need time, training, and institutional support. The most important implication is that innovation in English teaching should be a shared responsibility. Teachers need to be open to change, but the schools also need to support that change. If institutions provide practical training, collaboration spaces, and better conditions, English classes can become more active, communicative, and meaningful for students. Thank you for watching my presentation.